Why having a big cash buyers list will make you a fortune when it comes to wholesaling. And in this video, I'm gonna show you 6 strategies to have a huge cash buyers list, but stay tuned to the end because I'm gonna show you the strategy that we use in our business to take that cash buyers list and make sure that you are getting top dollar from your cash buyers, which allows you to get much bigger assignment checks rather than maybe the smaller ones that you're used to. I'm talking big assignment checks. So at the end of this video, I'm gonna share our strategy that you can implement right away, and you'll start doubling, if not tripling, your assignment costs right away. Well, at least I hope you do. If you don't know who I am, well, hello, thank you for watching this video. I'm Jeremy Beeland. I've been an investor for almost 9 years. I've done over 450 off-market deals. I think we're gonna hit 500 this year, fingers crossed. And I've done over $10 million in gross assignments and profits since I started my journey back in 2017. I built $1 million market in New York, $1 million market in Florida, $1 million market up here in New England. Listen, guys, as you can see, I'm not very articulate. I am not a guru when it comes to social media or content or anything. I am a lifestyle investor. I am sharing with you guys what I do every day in my business, what I teach my students to do every day in their business. I'm gonna provide you some great insights on how to build your cash buyers list today. So let's not waste any time. Let's get started. All right, so number 1, all right, so this is build cash buyers list. Not only am I not great at YouTube, I'm also not great at writing, so bear with me. Number 1, this is pretty common, everybody pretty much knows it, but it's Facebook groups, okay? Facebook groups are a great way to start building your cash buyers list. But here's a few techniques that you really need to try to do and not do, all right? Number 1, don't worry about the national Facebook groups. Those are great for building relationships, networking, and I don't know, JVing, I guess, or I mean, if you're doing the virtual model national, this would probably, the national sites would be much more applicable to what you're trying to achieve here. However, if you're working your local market like I do, and when I work other markets, we always have boots on the ground. So those are technically our local markets. We believe we're not virtual wholesalers. We are people who believe in working in your local markets. We feel we get much bigger spreads that way. We don't have to do a ton of deals. We just do bigger spreads per deal. So the effort is less, the return is more. So when it comes to Facebook groups, what I would recommend is work all your local Facebook groups, right? So find the ones in your state, in your areas, right? And do a couple things. 1, go and make a post. Hi, my name is Jeremy. I'm a local wholesaler. I am looking to add credible cash buyers that are looking for their next deal to my cash buyers list, right? And post that. And post it about once a month in all the different groups because everybody will see it differently in the algorithm. So make sure you're posting that once a month. That's it, right? Just do that in all the different groups in your area. The other technique that I like to do is if you go into the search engine of that group, you can write buyers list or cash buyers, and you'll get all those old posts that came in and go through all those old posts, and you'll start to see people who have tried to add cash buyers lists before. Now, don't just take the email names or the email addresses from these people and just add them to your list. You can do that. I don't recommend that. This is what I would recommend to do. I would comment on every single one of those people, right? So let's just say you see a post from 6 months ago and there's 15 people in there who left their name and address. Comment on them and just say, hey, sent you a message, please read your DMs, right? And then send them a DM so they know that it's there and say, you know, maybe even say check spam because it's probably going to be in the spam filter and just say, hey, you know, my name is Jeremy. I'm looking to build a cash buyers list. I saw you on a previous post adding your information to another wholesale in the area. I wanted to know, would it be okay if I could add you to my buyers list, right? So you're posting on the Facebook group once a month that you're a wholesale looking for cash buyers, and then you're scraping all those old posts and then commenting on everybody, hey, check your DMs, check your spam, I sent you a message, and then writing them a message privately saying, hey, my name's Jeremy, I'd like to add you to my cash buyers list. I've seen you post on other wholesalers in the past. Would it be okay if I could add you, okay? And when you're adding the information, you know, this is gonna be against probably what a lot of people teach, okay? And I'll explain why. But all you really need is their name, business name, email, and cell phone. Now, I know this old school of thought, or the general school of thought, is you need to get, what are they looking for? Multifamily, single families, what are they doing? What markets, how much do they spend, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, guys, I think none of that shit matters, okay? I've done over 450 off-market deals. I don't know if I've ever asked a buyer once. Maybe in the beginning when I was first started, when I didn't know any better, people were teaching me. So maybe out of the last 425 deals plus, I've never asked a cash buyer, you know, what kind of deals are you looking for? What's your price range? What are your preferences? Like, honestly, I don't care. I don't care about any of that. And if you stay tuned in the end of this video, I'll show you why that stuff doesn't matter. But I promise you, it doesn't matter. You find the deals, the buyers are there. We just want to have a lot of cash buyers. And the reason why we want to have a lot of cash buyers too, before we get on this, is the 80-20 rule, okay? So 20% of your buyers are going to buy 80% of your deals. 80% of your buyers are going to buy 20% of your deals. Most of the cash buyers you get are probably never going to do a business with you. It's crazy, right? There are a lot of daisy chainers, wholesalers pretending to be cash buyers who want to be cash buyers but are looking for the perfect property, the unicorn that's never going to exist and will never have the courage to make that jump. And cash buyers come and go, right? They're in the business, out of the business, and everything else. So there's a lot of reasons why we want to build a big cash buyers list, like I'm going to show you here at the end of this video. But, you know, we just want to make sure that we have a lot of cash buyers. So again, 20% of your cash buyers are going to be buying your deals, right? So if you have 100 cash buyers, how many is that? 20. So 20 of those cash buyers are going to buy your list. Now, if you have 1,000, 200 of those cash buyers of your cash buyers list will buy some deals from you, right? So do the math. Now, typically when my students come into our coaching program, the first goal is to get to 150 cash buyers before we even start marketing. 150 right away. It usually takes them a few weeks to get going on that. And the reason why is because the more cash buyers you have, the more money you will make in this business. You'll hear me say that all the time. Again, 20% of the cash buyers are going to buy your deals, right? So 150, what are we looking at? Maybe 30 cash buyers are going to be buying your deals. And at the end, you can see why the bigger numbers matters, okay? So let's keep going. Number 2, good old-fashioned Craigslist. My goodness gracious, Craigslist is so antiquated, but it still works. There's still some old school cash buyers that are on Craigslist all the time. So what I like to do is go on Craigslist and just make a post. My name is Jeremy. I come across deeply discounted off-market properties. I'm looking for other investors I can resell these properties to who may be interested in their next project or next property for their portfolio. If you have interest in that, please message me right away. Okay, here's some words you want to put in because they don't really do the hashtags on Craigslist, but there's words that these cash buyers will search up, and you can we call them tagline words, right? So do your post, and at the bottom, put in some taglines. Handyman special, fixer upper, mold, water damage, fire damage, cash sale, must sell, motivated seller, all right? You put those at the bottom, so you do your post, hit return a couple times to get that space, and at the bottom put that, okay? Do that once a month. Now, Craigslist isn't going to bring you a lot of cash buyers, but it's going to bring you some legit cash buyers. So if you do that once a month, you'll get some twosies, threesies here and there, but they add up, okay? Facebook's going to give you a lot, but they're also going to give you a lot of shit cash buyers too, okay? All right, number 3. This is one that a lot of people are always very surprised with, especially my students when I have them do it. Yard signs, okay? So take a look at this picture. This is an Amazon order, right? These are just yard signs that are white and blank, and they go in the stakes. What we do is we take a big fat Sharpie, right? So you can see this marker that I'm using for the whiteboard, right? See how much bigger it is, right? It's got a huge tip on it, right? Huge tip. So we take on that, and what we'll write is like, see if I can write this on here. Well, I don't want to mess it up, but actually I'm going to do it. What the heck? Let's go. You want to fill up the whole thing, right? We're going to go 3 bed, 2 bath, must sell phone number, all right? And that is like the whole thing, right? And we fill it up. So if this is the whiteboard, we fill it up with the big black Sharpie, right? I know, my Boston accent, Sharpie. And what we do is we take those and we find all the Home Depots, Lowe's, Sherwin-Williams paint supplies, plumbing supplies, electrical supplies, lumber yards, anything where contractors are working that are related to building properties and working on properties. We want to take these signs and we want to put them in an intersection nearby and just stick them in the ground. This is a little bit of a bait and switch, but this works really, really well. So you post these all around. Again, I would do this once a month. You don't need a ton of them, right? You only need like 1 or 2 signs at a store. So you can put out like 12 signs a month, cheap money, right? You're $20, $30 a month, and you're going to get some legit cash buyers this way, right? Because some people aren't on Facebook, they're going to and from, they're not at the local Facebook groups, which are local real estate groups, which we're going to talk about in a second, but they are going to these places. These are contractors, builders, cash buyers, maybe renovating a property for somebody else, maybe doing it for themselves. Maybe it's just like a guy who just buys these houses and flips them himself, like does 2 or 3 a year, and that's his full-time living, right? His lifestyle. So these work great. And all my students, every time they come in, they're like, so weird, that's not gonna work. And then they're like, I can't believe how well that works, Jeremy. I love this. I've been doing this since 2017 with great results. So do this once a month for 3 to 6 months. You'd be surprised how many cash buyers you get from this. All right, number 4, just talked about it a second ago, local meetups. So your local real estate investing association, your REIAs. And if you go to like the meetup.com site, there's also an app on your phone, and look at all the local meetups in your area. Now, I would highly suggest you go to every single one to build a network and everything else and to collaborate with other people in your area. But these are great places to get cash buyers. Now, a lot of these people there aren't cash buyers, but you're gonna find a small group in every meetup that you go to that are actively looking for properties. They have an opportunity to network before the event. You need to get outside your comfort zone and just say, hey, my name's Jeremy. I'm a local wholesaler. I'm coming across deeply discounted properties all the time. I'm looking to add more cash buyers to my list. Would you be interested in being on my cash buyers list? Heck yeah, I would, right? So we get the name, business name, cell phone, email. That's all you really need. Again, I'll explain why in a little bit. So local meetups, your local REIAs, go to these once a month. If you're not, definitely do, and again, do this for 3 to 6 months at all the ones in the areas that you're doing business in. Only in the ones you're doing business with, right? If it's out of state and you're not doing business there, it doesn't make sense. So stay into your area. Another great resource. All right, 5, local realtors. So a lot of people will try to get deals off the MLS. Sorry guys, there's not really many deals on the MLS when it comes to wholesalers, right? They're reaching out, how do I work with realtors? How do I, show proof of funds? How do I put a property under contract on the MLS for $10,000 below list price, but somehow I'm gonna find a cash buyer to buy it at list price? Well, all your cash buyers are looking at the deals on the MLS. I'm not gonna go down on that tangent today, but local realtors also have a lot of cash buyers as clients. So again, if you go to the local Facebook groups, but go to instead of the real estate investing Facebook groups, go to the real estate agent listing broker groups and ask, hey, is any realtors here working with investors as their clients who may be looking for the next project or rental property? And then take a look on all the posts and see, did you see any remodeled houses, right? Did you see any fixer-uppers for sale, right? You may find realtors in those groups. Reach out to each and every one of them. Say, hey, my name is Jeremy. I come across deeply discounted off-market properties all the time. I'm curious to know if you have any cash buyer investors as clients who would like to get some free leads sent to them. I can send them to you, and if they're looking for their next project, next flip, or next rental property, I can get you those leads and send them to you. And then if your buyers have interest, you can come and take a look at the properties that I get. And they're gonna be like, well, what's in it for me? Well, I typically wholesale these deals, right? And I get an assignment fee. What we do in my business is we'll give you 10% of that assignment fee, with the minimum being $1,000. So, if it's $5,000 spread, which better not be, you get $1,000. If it's $10,000, we're getting closer to where we need to be, you get $1,000. If it's $20,000, getting closer, you get $2,000. $30,000, now we're in the sweet spot where we want to be for the assignment deals. You'll get $3,000. If a realtor can bring a cash buyer to you that is, and is going to get $3,000, and then the cash buyer is going to fix and resell the house with them, that is a win all day for that realtor. They don't have to go out and find the deal. You're bringing them the deal. So you have to spend a lot of time going through the local realtors, but there's many in your area that will do it. And what I like about the local realtors and their cash buyers, they're used to spending more because they're used to the MLS. More on that to come. So, number 6, my buddy, Lead Mining Pros. Nicholas Nick. Not only do we use him as a marketing channel, but he can pull cash buyers lists, right? So if you go to Lead Mining Pros and type in the word REI Freedom as your coupon code, they'll give you an extra 10% for free, right? But he does a great job. For short money, he can pull a list of all the cash buyers in your area. Now, you should still do these because this may not have it all. He's not gonna get them all, but this is gonna be a great complement to this. So he's gonna give you a list and skip trace it for you. And it may be 100, 200, 300 cash buyers, could be 1,000, right? And the best thing to do with that is then just, go through that list, text them, and cold call every single one, run it through the DNC first to make sure none of those numbers are on there. I think Nicholas does that for you. And just say, hey, my name is Jeremy. Again, right, same script. My name is Jeremy. I come across deeply discounted off-market properties all the time. I'm looking for cash buyers who are looking for their next project or rental property. Is that something you'd be interested in? If I could provide you free leads of these type of properties on the regular basis, I'd love to add you to my list. You know, most of these guys are going to say yes, right? Especially when you come across professional. Wholesalers are a dime a dozen, guys. They really are. So are cash buyers. They're a dime a dozen too. And what's going to happen is, you know, as me, once a wholesaler, now a cash buyer, you know, I hate when I just start getting leads from nowhere, and I never asked for that stuff, right? I don't know these people from a hole in the wall. So the best part is to introduce yourself in a professional manner, right? Everything we want to do is to be professional, whether we're talking with the seller or talking with the buyers. We want to act with integrity and professionalism. So when you do that, it's going to allow this guy to be like, hey, that was a really nice guy. Yeah, please send me your deals. But if you start sending me deals and I don't know who you are, I'm not looking at them. I'm not. I'm just not. But if I know you and you say, hey, Jeremy, I want to add you to my cash buyers list, and we have a conversation, I'm like, sure, I'll take a look at everything you got, right? And then I do. So do that professional touch when reaching out to cash buyers. Just don't start, you know, getting people's information off the internet and Facebook groups and just blasting them out. It's tacky, it's unprofessional, and it's not going to drive you a lot of business, okay? So this is 6 ways to build your cash buyers list. Now, we talked about why a cash buyers list is really important, right? And a big cash buyers list. So I'm going to say it again. I said it earlier in the video. The more cash buyers you have, the more money you're going to make. 2 reasons, right? One, we talked about the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of your cash buyers are going to buy your properties. Now, let's just say you're working with 4 or 5 cash buyers, right? And you come across a deal, a great deal, right? Let's say you have 5 cash buyers, all right? Well, 2 of those cash buyers are tied up in other projects right now. They don't have any money available. The other one is not looking for a flip, and this is a flip. I only buy rental properties. And then you're looking at another one who says, hey, I want to be much less than that, right? And you have another one that says, I only buy pink houses with sparkles, with telescopes coming out of the windows on that side of the town in this little neighborhood, and that's it. That's all I buy, right? Everybody's really weird when it comes to cash buyers and their preferences. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a great deal, and then you don't have any cash buyers. And I don't like just having small cash buyers. When you have a small cash buyers, we call that a CBE, a cash buyer employee. If you go and say, hey, cash buyer, what deal do you want? I want a 4-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot house in this town. And you say, all right, I'm going to go get it. I'm going to run and go get it. Well, you're basically just his errand boy, right? You're going to find him the deal, doing all the work with the marketing, the effort to provide value to the seller, getting this great deal. You're going to come running back to him. Hey, look, I have a contract. Awesome. I'd love to sell it to you. And he's like, okay, great. How much do you want for it? And you're like, I want $10,000. He's going to be like, I can't give you that, right? Cash buyer is not going to be like, sure, let me get my wallet. What do you need, right? They don't do that. They feel like they have to negotiate every single time or they're doing themselves a disservice. Now, this isn't everybody, but this is most of them. So you're saying you want 10,000. He's like, I can't do that. He anchors low at 5, right? Kind of like what we're doing with the sellers. And then you guys come in the middle and meet at 7,500. Well, you just gave your deal away for a $2,500 discount. Now, that may not seem like a big deal, especially when you're early on in your career and you just want to get money in. But $2,500 a deal times 10 is $25,000 that you could be giving up at the end of this year. Never mind if you're doing 20 deals, now you're talking $50,000 out of your own pocket that you could be giving up, right? So you don't want to be a cash buy employee because you know what that makes you? It makes you a motivated seller. Just like the people you're getting the contracts from. This is why I don't really care for the virtual model. I'm going to find a motivated seller, getting the deal on the contract. Then I'm rushing to go find any buyer that will take it, which makes me a motivated seller on the back end. I want to sell my deals for top dollar. Going to get into that shortly. So what I'd like to do is build a big cash buyers list. So no matter what deals I come across, right? And this was part 2 of what I was trying to get to earlier, is you're going to come across certain deals that are just weird, right? They're just a weird house, weird part of town, but it's a super good deal as far as the numbers go and the motivation goes, right? You don't want to just be like, I can't find a cash buyer because the house is weird. I'm just going to pass it up because I don't have a lot of cash buyers to work with, or I'm going to start scrambling to rush to kind of do all this stuff last minute, and you're not going to have any time. And then when you're rushing to do all this while you're already marketing, doing deals, it's going to take you away from sales on the other side, right? So you're going to be, I have this deal, I can't find a cash buyer, I'm going to spend all this time and effort now trying to find a cash buyer when I really should be talking to sellers on the phone and in person and getting my next deals lined up. This is the bottleneck where a lot of wholesalers fall into this trap, right? So what we want to do in this situation is if we have a large cash buyers list, right? Hundreds, thousands. I really would like thousands, right? We have almost 4,000 cash buyers on our list up here in New England. 4,000, okay? So when I get a weird deal in a weird town or weird house, and the numbers work, I can at least find one cash buyer willing to take that deal, because the odds, right, it's a numbers game. The odds are in my favor. I can at least find one person, which means I don't have to cancel it, which means I can still make money off of this junky, weird, crappy deal of a house, but it's still a deal. I just need to find somebody to take it, right? You're gonna come across those situations more often than you think, and you don't wanna be missing out on those opportunities. But a strong cash buyers list will allow you to have a lot more of those closed, because a big thing that happens with wholesalers is they get a lot of deals under contract, but very few of them close, especially at the virtual model. I did 20 contracts this week. I did 30 contracts this month. And then you find out, like, 2 or 3 of them close, right? They're putting all this work in, but none of them is closed. Their cancellation rate's like 80%, 90%, 70%. That's not where you want to be. You want to be in a cancellation rate of 30%, maybe 40, 50 if you're new, but 30 to 40. So that means every 10 contracts you get, 3 or 4 of them are not going to close. But a lot of those will be outside of your responsibility, right? It could be a situation where they just owe more money than the house is worth, right? The numbers just don't work. You're trying, but the numbers don't work. 2, you can't get clear title. That happens a lot. And 3, you can't find a cash buyer that wants that particular house because you don't have a big cash buyers list. You don't want number 3 to be a reason why you're canceling deals a lot. So let's get to the best part, why I love having a big cash buyers list, why it makes me a ton of money in my business, why it's averaged me over $35,000 an assignment for the last 6 straight years. All right, this is huge. And I love putting things on the MLS. We'll talk about that in a second as well. That's a little bonus clip for you guys here in this video. But what we do, we don't get a deal and go running to a cash buyer or a few cash buyers. Here's what you need to do to implement in your business right away. So when you get a deal under contract and you have hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of cash buyers, we do what we call an inspection walkthrough, which is an open house. But we call it an inspection walkthrough because I'm not a licensed broker. I'm not a licensed realtor. I can't use the term legally open house. So we say inspection walkthrough, but it's an open house. And what we'll do it on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 12 to 1. We host it. We tell the seller what's going on. We're going to have, this is what we do. We wholesale your house. We're going to find a cash buyer. We're going to make money this way. We blah, blah, blah. We do all this in the meetings when we're talking to sellers. So we're 100% transparent, the situation, what's going on. We're not afraid to tell the seller, because if you're doing the sales the right side, you don't have to worry about this. If you're trying to hide this or you're afraid to do this, then you need to get some coaching, brother. Come see me. I can help you with that. Anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to have this one-time showing, right? Again, a lot of other wholesalers show the house this time for a cash buyer, this time for a cash buyer, this time for a cash buyer. You might as well just get a realtor and have multiple showings. They don't want to do that. We're supposed to be speed and convenience, right? We're trying to solve a problem here. Last thing we want to be doing is multiple showings, and it's a waste of your time, quite honestly. So let's drive all the traffic there, right? So we're gonna blast it out via text message and email. We draft up a great email. We send it out to our cash buyers through Constant Contact. I don't put the rehab numbers on there. I don't put the ARV number on there. And in fact, all I do is I market the property at $4,900 over contract price. That's it, $5,000 over contract price. And I just told you, we average over $35,000 a deal, but I'm only marketing it at $5,000. Well, how the hell does that happen? Well, I'm gonna tell you how it happens. So if you've ever gone to an open house, right? The reason why realtors have open houses, they wanna drive a lot of traffic in there, and we wanna create a scarcity mindset, right? Oh my goodness, there's a lot of other people looking at this off-market deal. I need a flip, but there's 7, 10, 15, 20, 25 other cash buyers here looking at this deal. I really want this, but I'm gonna have to spend more than they're telling me. I'm gonna have to put in a really good bid. So what we do is we drive all the traffic into that 1 hour showing. And we push all the people through. They see everything. Sometimes we have cars lined up and down the streets. It's like freaking chaos. It's crazy. And we tell the seller this is all gonna happen, right? And if you check out some of my presentations, I share videos and clips of this. It's wild. So we'll have all this stuff going on, and we try to drive as much traffic because, again, we want to drive as much traffic into this fishbowl, this circus, as you will, to get the bids up. But we're only offering at $5,000 over contract price. And then if you think of what an auction is, right? An auction is, hey, this house starts at $100,000 and everybody's like 101, 102, 103. Well, that's the same thing I do with my wholesale contracts. This is the exact same thing. So we send them all in there. We say your highest and best offer is due the end of next business day. So they all go to the house. They get to do all their own due diligence. This is your only time to go see this house. This house is shown as seen, as is. Don't expect it to be any different than this. This is the only time you can see it. We will not allow any more access. So this is the time you bring your lenders, your contractors, your business partners, whoever you need to bring. This is the only time to come into the house and take a look at it. End of next business day, we want your highest and best offer. And then end of next business day, they all start bidding up, right? And then here's a little tidbit too. We love to add the MLS. So you have to check with the regulations in your area, right? Every state is very different. But in the states that I've worked in, New York, Las Vegas, Kansas, Florida, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, we can all do this. I think I got them all. So many. But you have to put it into the language a certain way as far as the listing goes. The language has to be a certain way. We provide this to our students in our coaching program. And then what we like to do is on the purchase sales contract that buyer may market the property on the MLS and that we have the seller initial it, and we also tell them that. So again, you want to have a big cash buyers list. Not every seller is going to be okay with you putting it on the MLS. Many aren't, but a lot will as well because they don't care if you're handling the sales side of things right. So not only are we going to bring a lot of cash buyers in, but I want to blast it out on the MLS because there's a ton of cash buyers out there, ton that are just looking at the MLS. And then when you show them a deal like this, oh man, they get really excited and they come rushing down to that open house because they don't see deals like this on the MLS. And the MLS buyers, again, the local realtors guys, they love to spend more because they're used to it. The people that are buying consistently off market are buying at $20,000, $30,000 less. These guys are buying at $20,000, $30,000 more, right? So this is a way to get big spreads on your deals. So market it on the MLS legally and professionally and make sure you're transparent and honest. But a big cash buyers list, drive all the traffic to your inspection. Highest and best offers are due the next day. Now, we talked earlier about being a CBE and you wanted to get $10,000 for a deal and settling it for $7,500, right? $2,500 loss, right? Per deal. Again, not a big deal per deal, but as you start adding 10 to 20, $25,000, $50,000 out of your own pocket, that is a big deal. But we flip the script. We make the buyers overpay for our deals. So rather than selling it to them at a discount, they're overpaying me by $2,500, $5,000, $10,000. And let's just say $5,000 more on average just by doing this method rather than the way you've been doing it. Well, now 10 deals a year, that's an extra $50,000. An extra 20 deals, that's an extra $100,000. You are going to give up $25,000 or $50,000. I'm going to make you an extra $50,000 to $100,000. That is anywhere from a $75,000 to $125,000 spread in your pocket by just doing this. This is why having a big cash buyers list will make you a lot of money in this business. Now, you can do the small cash buyers list all you want. I hope it works out well for you. But I've done this in all the markets and all my students have done this. My students are getting $60,000 deals, $48,000 deals, $40,000 deals, $25,000 deals. This is what they're doing. And the ones who get the $10,000 deals are the ones that don't have a lot of cash buyers. The ones that have a lot of cash buyers are getting the big spreads. I just had another student lock up a $60,000 deal this week. His very first deal in our coaching program was $48,000. That's 2 deals, $108,000. How much did you make last year with all of your deals combined? So my method works. Trust me, I promise it'll deliver. So this is it. So I'll tell you what, you got the information, you know how to build your buyers list, go implement it, comment, let me know how it's working. If you need help, I'll help fine tune it for you. But I guarantee if you start implementing 150 cash buyers and do your one-time showing, your business model is going to change drastically. And I wouldn't even be surprised if you double or triple your assignment costs overnight. So I hope you found this very helpful. And guys, listen, if you want to learn more, listen, click on the link below, no obligation. It's just an informational call to see if you want to join our coaching program. I'm teaching not only dispositions, but teaching you how to get these deals locked up at the really low end and providing great value and run a professional wholesaling business where we buy low, sell high. If that's something that interests you, you want to learn more, then book a strategy call with me. No obligation. If you're not the right fit, we're not the right fit for each other, I'll promise to at least lead you in the right direction and leave you with some value. But if it is a fit, then you can come in and I will start making you a ton of money in the wholesaling business. I hope you guys found this super helpful. One one last favor, please like this video, click the bell and follow us. We need you guys. It helps the algorithm. I'm trying to get more of this information out there. If you got value from this video, give me some value by following us and sharing this so YouTube can push us out there so other people like yourself can find these videos. I appreciate all your effort in watching this video. I know it was long. I know I'm full of energy. This is going to make you a fortune. I hope it does. Remember, we're all about building a life of freedom, however that looks for you guys through real estate investing. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.